I feel like if you're dating someone, like, the passionate matter.
So let me ask you a question, just a quick question. If a man has a history of domestic violence, does his past matter?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
But I'm saying, like, I wouldn't go digging into his, like, ex-relationships.
If you were told by a friend of yours that a man you were dating had a history of domestic violence, you wouldn't go digging, really?
I actually got told a lot about my current boyfriend. Like, people came up to me and were telling me things about him when we went out. And from seeing his character, like, I knew that that was just bullshit.
Okay, you didn't go poking around, though?
I didn't need to, because I didn't care about what was happening previously.
What if you were told that he had a history of kid diddling? Would you go poking around then, since you have a daughter at home?
I use my discernment on. That's why he's the person that ever met my daughter.
Do you think that they're just going to announce themselves and all their creepy vibes are just going to come out at once? Okay, well, let me just ask this very simply then. Would you allow somebody who had ever diddled a kid around your daughter?
Obviously not.
Well, then I guess their history matters, doesn't it?
I don't know if I'm alone in this feeling. I don't know if this is normal. Like, to be angry. I guess I'm just angry because I did not think I would be here. I did not think that I would be 30, a single mom, going on dates and having to be nervous for dates. Just not the way life was supposed to go. Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing, I guess. So we'll see.
Oh, boy, you.
Single moms are having a moment, and not a good one. The intelligent men they used to lock down after one date are now spotting them from the parking lot and getting back in the car. The crash-out content is everywhere. Let's examine the wreckage.
So I have been a single mum for about 18 months now, so I feel like I'm pretty qualified to chat on the topic. Does it get easier? No. However, do you get hotter? Yes. And a win's a win, so you'll be fine.
3 kids, 2 baby daddies, 1 bitter attitude, and a profile that says, looking for a real man who can handle all of me. A real man can handle it. He just has options. And you are not one of them.
I'm going to be aggressive because nobody wants to hear this, because what you want me to say today is actually being a single mother is totally possible. It actually isn't. It was never meant to happen for the human race, number 1. Number 2, single biggest determiner of whether a mother is a good mother, what do you think it is? This is going to blow your mind when I tell you the answer. Whether they have a supportive partner. The major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom? Because it's like a direct chain is what we see. What you see is that if you've got a father figure, basically, who's supportive to the mother's energy goes towards the children. But the second that she doesn't have that supportive energy, she collapses, is what happens. And then the kids get starved. And we're not actually supposed to be living in a single-family household, so it's supposed to be a lot more support towards mom than just dad. But I'm going with standard societal structure. You are a victim of a society that was never meant to work this way.
Eventually, down the line, there's going to be an expectation, if you're in a relationship with a single mother, the single mother is going to expect the guy to provide, not just for you, but for the kid. And so that adds like sort of a double duty to provide for a child that's not yours. The issue with that, though, is there's all the responsibility, but none of the corresponding authority. So she might expect you to provide, but she might not allow you as the guy to have any authority over the child. To me, if you're going to be responsible providing for a child and you're going to step in as a stepfather, you aren't given authority over the kid. Like most single moms are not going to like allow you to discipline their kid, but they will expect you to provide for their kid. So it's all the responsibility with none of the authority. And actually, there are some single mothers who have an expectation that the guy start providing instantly. For example, you hear these stories of women wanting men to pay for the babysitter like on the first date.
He said no. Politely, firmly, without drama. And she called him a misogynist. Ma'am, declining an offer is not an attack. It's literally how free markets work.
This comment right here.
And what about that comment?
I really don't think that he's speaking for all men.
Of course, there are always exceptions, but they are most certainly speaking for the vast majority of men.
Because I know that there will be somebody that steps up one day, to be some sort of father figure for my child.
It's very possible. However, do bear in mind that women with children are not at the top of a man's dating priority list. They are in fact near the bottom.
It's also I'm very surprised that you felt comfortable actually typing this out and commenting on someone's video.
I'm actually surprised that one didn't already realize that most men actually felt that way.
Like, it's just the wildest thing.
No, it's not. It's actually almost common sense.
You don't know my circumstances with my child, or his father.
Well, that's true. Not every single mother has 2 or 3 baby daddies, and some single mothers are the product of being widowed or are divorced. However, the fact remains the same that most men do not want to raise another man's child.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, hopefully he's not speaking for all men out there, but this was just really disappointing to see.
The list is extraordinary. 6 feet 2 minimum, 6 figures, no kids of his own, must love her kids like his own, must have no exes in the picture, must be emotionally available, must be willing to wait 90 days for physical intimacy. In exchange, she is offering herself and her 3 kids, and a restraining order that expires next year.
As a single mother, your value as a woman is less than somebody who does not have kids. If you're looking for that long-term relationship, which you've said you are, looking for a guy who's like at your age or older, the men who will be looking for what you're looking for aren't looking for you. They're looking for women who are much younger than you and who do not have kids. Do you understand that?
Well, you seem to think that every woman is exactly the same, but I'm not the same kind of person as the woman you're talking about. I don't have an IQ of 100. I'm not a moron. I'm fairly attractive. I don't think I'm going to have an issue. And what I did decide was that I would rather be by myself. My concern wasn't hypergamy. I'm going to go find someone older, wiser, smarter, better, richer, and do that. I just figured, hey, I'll just hunker down and work. At least I'll be happier by myself.
Like, I'm talking to you, like, personally. Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you want a single mother, though?
Okay, so I said before, typically, single moms, you hook up with them. Now, does that mean that you can go ahead and get with a single mom and make something work? For sure, there's always that chance. But statistically speaking,
boom.
It's not a good move. It's not a good move, statistically speaking. 99% chance of failure.
But you see, you're thinking like Blueface. You're thinking about the money. You're not thinking about love.
I feel like he's just being realistic.
A wise man once said, "Responsibility without authority is slavery." The stepfather is responsible for the children but cannot discipline them. He is responsible for the bills but cannot make decisions. He is essentially unpaid staff with a bedroom. Men who've done one tour don't sign up for a second.
Like, y'all want people to get up and get out the house and go put money into a day where y'all don't even value mothers. Y'all don't value them. Y'all treat them like there's no resources. They don't give a. You go to work and your kid gets sick and now you can't go back to work. Who came up with this? Who came up with this?
But a lot of times, you know it's a bad idea. I even posted a video recently about this, a quick short, which I'll probably link it in here. But you know it's a bad idea right off top, and you still deciding to be with a man that does not want to be with you. And all of a sudden, because he doesn't want to be with you, he's not a good father. Do better, baby. Do better. You in tears crying, who came up with this? Who came up with this? Baby, this is life when you having kids. Get all your stuff together first before you have kids.
Scared is not the word. Scared implies the man wants to but can't. The man doesn't want to. At all, in any configuration. Ever. He's not scared. He's informed.
I have a kid. Now that I have my kid, I might be this, I'm a boss bitch, but deep down in my heart, I would do absolutely anything to be at home and be like always with my child. But unfortunately, like, he's right. And that shit's hard. Like, unfortunately, since I'm by myself, I gotta hustle, you know? Yeah. But I would do anything to have a man.
8 matches, 0 dates. She cried into her camera about it for 12 minutes. The kids were somewhere off screen. The father was somewhere in county. The cycle continues.
She's going to beg and say, please forgive me, please forgive me. But the reality is, we don't want the man that forgives us. We really don't. We want the man that says, you had your chance. It's been a pleasure. I wish you the best. Because that's the man we respect.
Men need to step up. That's the phrase. Step up. Into her life. Into her financial mess. Into her parenting arrangement. Into her drama with her ex. Into her kids' therapy fees. Step up into a situation she created and then pay for the privilege. Hard pass. Extra hard pass.
The kid that's in a single mother home is more at a statistical disadvantage than a single father home. Like, he's more likely to drop out of school, more likely to go to prison, more like all the statistical disadvantages that you have, like, tend to be from single mother homes as opposed to single
Is
father.
that more males or females or both?
What do you mean?
Like the child, is it a male or female or both?
Well, by and large, like men tend to be more aggressive. I mean, as like a whole, like they're more disagreeable, so they tend to go to jail more. So I would guess it's probably more men.
Single dads and single moms are not the same. A single dad took custody because he wanted his kids. A single mom usually took custody because she got custody by default and alimony came with it. The financial structure tells the whole story. Men know this. The dating market has repriced accordingly.
Today is my 3-year wedding anniversary. This has been hands down the most depressing, miserable, horrible 3 years of my life. I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married. I run my ass off and I do everything for everybody in my life. He goes to work. That's it. He works. Yeah, his job's hard. Yeah, his hours suck, but he works. That is all he does. I am 30 years old and I'm literally begging for the bare minimum every single day. Yeah, I don't work, but the amount of weight I carry, I can tell you why I've stayed. Money. It's that simple. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And yeah, I know I can leave because trust me, I am leaving. But people can't just walk out and leave one day when you have kids and 12 years of life wrapped up together. You can't just walk away with nothing. You have to have a plan.
My husband left the night that I posted that original video.
She didn't accidentally have 3 kids with men who would leave. She chose those men, specifically, enthusiastically, over the reliable, boring, stable men who would have stayed. The men who stayed got married to someone else. The cycle repeated. The chapter ended. The sequel was more of the same.
As a single mother, I'm going to tell you something that you do not want to hear about dating. And it's really harsh, but it is a reality. When you are a single mother, even if you share custody, but like specifically if you're a single mother, like 100% full-time parent, it is going to be so easy for the men that you date to cheat on you. And the simple reasoning is this: you don't have time, okay? So you're constantly preoccupied. So you're not worried about what's going on in their phone. You're not worried about where they are all day. You're not tracking their location because you got other shit to do. You have a literal human life that depends on you. And if you're a present parent like me, you have school functions, you have their extracurricular activities, everything else going on. So you're not like in their business. Bad men, manipulative men, narcissistic men will see this as their perfect opportunity to pounce and have more women. Now, do other types of men do this? Absolutely. But all I'm saying is it's much easier when you're a single mom dating for the men to have the opportunity to have multiple women on the side. Facts. And I'll tell you this from my experience because I don't have time to be going through that man's phone. I don't have time to be wondering where you're at. I don't have time to like keep your schedule on hand. I have a child. I have her schedule in mind. I have drop-offs. I have my own work to do. I have all my own stuff going on. And while I see that as a positive, men will see that as an opportunity. I'm not saying this is a bad thing because technically, like, I want to be busy. I want to be doing all of these things for myself and providing for my daughter and doing the most, you know what I mean? Because, like, that's just the way that I am. But it is a big loophole in the system. A lot of guys actually like to date single moms because they can cheat. It's easier for them. They have their own time. They don't have to constantly be worried about you. You're doing your own thing. You have somebody who relies on you, aka giving them time to do their own thing. While I do agree it is good for both people to have their own time, you shouldn't be living your life parallel, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be an intersect. So if they are not cool with you being a mom or they like never want your kid around, he's gotta go. I love you.
They dodge from a mile away, not out of cruelty, out of calculation. Kids in the profile picture means inheriting another man's mistakes. Kids in the bio means inheriting another man's child support schedule. Kids in the household means inheriting another man's parenting disputes. The inheritance is not favorable. Men are declining to open the envelope.
Let her speak, please.
At the end of the day, it's important to have a man in your life. It's really important because of the simple fact that just seeing my son raised without like a father, it hurts. It really does. And you know what? I'm happy for you because it's like, when you have that situation, you realize that it's like, this is my man, I'm going to worship him, and this is the family I'm going to create. When I'm a grandma and I have the whole entire room filled with my grandchildren, that is your real value. And no women really talk about that. Andrew Tate spoke about it here in the podcast, and that's something that he said that I will always hold to me because of my son.
The meltdown is public. The meltdown is loud. The meltdown is on camera. Nobody is comforting her. Nobody is running to her defense. And the men she's mad at are sleeping 8 hours a night. The meltdown is having zero effect on its intended audience, because its intended audience is gone.
This one will sting, but it's the truth. A lot of men avoid divorced women and single moms, not because they're bad people, okay, but because of the baggage that comes with it. Let's break it down, shall we? A divorced woman usually carries emotional scars. She's been through betrayal, conflict, failure, child custody, and often she hasn't healed from it. That pain doesn't just disappear. It bleeds into the next relationship. Men can feel that bitterness, that distrust, and most don't want to pay for what the last man did. Now let's talk about the single moms. It's not just about dating her. It's about inheriting her past. The ex is always in the picture. The baby daddy will be forever tied to her and her child. And no matter how great the guy is, he's never the first priority. Her kids will be. And they should be. The child should come first. But most men aren't signing up to be second place in their own relationship. It doesn't mean divorced women or single moms can't find love. That's not what I'm saying. But it does mean the pool is smaller, because men weigh these realities before committing to somebody. So stop shaming men for wanting less baggage. It's not hate, it's honesty. If you want a high value man, you've got to bring more than wounds and history to the relationship. You have to bring healing, peace, and partnership, because that's what men stay for.
She should have picked the quiet guy at 24, the one with the stable job and the clean record and the boring text messages. She called him boring and picked someone exciting. The exciting man delivered exactly what his rap sheet predicted. Now she's 33 with his kids, and the quiet guy is married to someone smarter.
This is the second housing place that won't accept me because I don't make enough money. I feel so defeated right now, y'all. I'm having to move out of my current house because I cannot afford to live here. And I'm trying to find something to where I can go back to school and I can maintain school, work, and having 2 kids. And I'm trying to get accepted into government housing. But the past 2 times that I have, they literally tell me that I'm not making enough and that I have to wait around on a second assistance, which is rental assistance, which could be up to a year wait.
Shout out to all the single moms out there. I know it's super hard, especially with the insane cost of living right now, but she pretty much can't even get, a Section 8 housing right now. So, hey, it's crazy within America right now.
A lot of men, especially men that don't have children themselves, do not want to date the single mom. And there's very good, valid reasons for it. I would say the most valid reason is because a man understands that he's going to get very attached to the child and there's no lingering tie between them if they break up. He ends up getting his heart broken, not only from the broken relationship with the woman, the mom, but also with the child. And there's nothing linking them. There's no legality for him to be able to continue to see the child. And this can happen 5 years down the road. He's helped raise that child. I think that that is one of the very valid reasons why men talk about this preference. But the problem is that they're oftentimes shamed. And they're usually shamed by single moms that just don't have this understanding. They're not talking for all men. There's going to be groups of men that are okay with dating single moms, and oftentimes they're going to be single dads or just men that are more open-minded about that type of situation.
Single moms are crashing out because the intelligent men ran the audit and declined the offer. Not out of hate, out of math. The product is expensive, the warranty is expired, and the return policy is called child support. Men are making better investments. Guard your peace. Guard your assets, guard your future. Thanks for watching Male Imperium. Please show us your love by subscribing to the channel using the bell icon. We're also up for debate and some healthy banter, so don't forget to comment under the video.